present day, present time. Yeah.
I'm thinking that the only reason he's carrying that around is gonna be so that it does something in the future, right?
Those were just legends.
Like, there's no way he's just carrying this tear of his fiancée and crystal forever. Like, what's the, what else would that be for? If not some MacGuffin later in the game. I had a lot of really high hopes going into this area, trying to look for like chests and stuff, and I didn't get a single chest that was worth it. So yeah, I figured at this point this was such a massive blowout of the Crystarium that I sped it up by like, I don't know, 500% here. Each character just got full upgraded to the full next level every level, and still had like 20,000 sorry, points left. But we'll see here in a second, as soon as you beat this cutscene boy, they unlock every role for everyone. And so you can kind of pick your main team. And while I don't think Hope would make a good tank sentinel, I think you can do that even if you wanted to. I'll have to look at the, like, you can go through the Crystarium and look at what abilities they even have the options of getting, but for the most part I'll probably want to get haste on snow, maybe on lightning, I don't know. Everyone seems pretty set. Like, there are 3 main paragrams. Everyone's got kind of like 2 general ones and a 3rd specialized one. But these guys were pretty cool. They've got that head spin move he just did, where like whirlwinds everyone into a stagger. But as soon as you hit that stagger bar up, like, Hope is hitting 10k on them. Yeah, so this is your little tutorial that you can now freely choose any Crystarium that you want to. I was also looking at these rails up here the first time I walked through this, and the first thing that went through my head was, are we getting a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess moment here?
Long ago, the Falsi,
like, do we get the spinner attack and get to do a little spinner bro moves, bounce around from track to track?
And they stored those weapons in arks.
I played that game so much.
All over the world.
Everyone on Grand Pulse knew the legend.
So we're
this is
in an ark,
armory.
which is where the Pulse people stored weapons and training grounds and stuff like that.
A few people tried searching, but they never found a thing.
I think, like, earlier they mentioned like warships having crashed and been buried in the power plant area where we were running through earlier, like in the beginning of the game.
There's more.
They used to say the arcs had a more practical purpose.
Yeah. It's nice having Fang and Vanille here. They can just fill us in on all the lore.
Yeah, to force
Since
Lassie
they're
to master their shiny new powers.
They're basically from, I imagine they're from the original war.
I get it. Daisley's goal is to forge us into stronger
Like
weapons. Right.
Fang or Vanille, one of them probably became Ragnarok and cracked Cocoon. That's just my guess at this point, because she's still not telling anyone, even though she says she's going to tell everyone. And then just kind of the timeline, putting that together. And then they woke up on Cocoon, and Fang didn't have any memories.
Fun times.
Over there.
Oh, you know what? If Fang didn't have any memories, it's probably because she became Ragnarok. And it, you know, blacked out her conscious. Just guessing.
I feel life.
Now we are back to fighting these bombs. One of my least favorite enemies, but
You know what to do.
you get the preemptive strike on anything and it's basically game over at this point. If you're lucky enough to get area of effect moves that catch their stagger bars before they can drop, it's handled. But the bombs have like a area attack move that attacks themselves and everyone else within their element, and so it heals them, charges their bomb countdown, and damages you all at once. And then their self-destruct mode is it's got to do like 80% of your health no matter where you're at. It's super dangerous.
He wants to make us stronger.
Well,
so we
luckily
can
if they're not in a big group, it's not a big deal. But like, you get two together and they start doing that area jiggle attack, and you're basically screwed over. There's nothing you can do. I was thinking this little area down here is like, oh, it's like off the beaten path. It's like protected by like a 3-bomb crowd. You see their weaknesses real quick there, but no. And they all, in this area, all the, like, a lot of these things all had like half health to start out with. Like the bombs, you know, I'm just thinking of them, but yeah, they start with like half health.
keep this up.
I wonder if it has something to do with their regen ability and their bomb charging. Like if they're at full health, maybe the regen doesn't affect their final move or something like that. Maybe like once they get to full health, that's what triggers the self-destruct mechanism. Well, I don't know. I haven't done any testing on them to see if that's the case for this level, but I feel like any testing for that's going to result in some deaths that I don't want to have to add to my counter. But for this being an arc, it's kind of strangely tied into these massive sewer systems. So I kind of wonder if maybe the arc is, I don't know, maybe it's like a vertical building and these tunnels kind of wind around it and in and out of it. I don't know, it's really hard to say, but they did mention when they first jumped down here that this looked like Pulse stuff. And they were in one of these little metro rooms. So I don't know, maybe the arc is like massive. Now, they are in a floating city to begin with, but I think these green slimes are a new enemy. And pretty much everything down here does poison, which is super annoying, but I don't think it really affected anyone. Being able to heal, have like 2 healers on your team, and with this group I have a paragram for triple healing. So basically, anytime you need a super heal, you just switch to that and everyone starts casting like a shit ton of heals. Yeah, like, look how big this sewer complex is. It's gotta be like worked into the actual city's sewers. Like, there's no way this is a hidden Pulse ship inside of Cocoon, or inside of Eden City. Yeah, go fight all of these little slugs. They do like one move is like nutrient absorption. And like, I don't know, it only does like 100 damage or something. It's pretty slow. But their cast time on it is not slow. And they drop them in groups of like 10 at a time. And you can just absolutely get overwhelmed quickly by that. Yeah, see, these green guys have one move called Merge, where they can combine, and then as soon as they combine, they go from an enemy you can kill in one turn to an enemy that now takes like 10, maybe more. Like the stagger bar doesn't even go up. But a lot of that's because they take minimized physical damage. So you have to, maybe a triple Ravager build would have been a better use of my time for this, but I wasn't thinking that deep about it when I was playing through. These little hallways seemed kind of like a place they could have put more treasure spheres. I think this is the only one I found in the whole section. Like the next little section coming up, I was so sure there was going to be spheres everywhere, because there's all these little branching hidden paths and everything, and just nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think there was one sphere on a bridge, and that was it.
Nothing I can't handle.
Now we're back to fighting these pulse birds. They're not super annoying, but if you don't target the one casting debuffs, you can absolutely get wrecked. Yeah, so like you can jump down the main path, which is my recommendation for everyone, because all of these side paths are just a colossal waste of time. Like you can go down the right or left, and they just circle down to that main path that you could have just dropped down to immediately. I don't know. And there's no chests. I went back and checked, there's nothing. But yeah, you'll see in this fight, it happens real quick. This guy lands his debuff, and the other guy does a spinny attack, and in 1 second, my health goes from full to 0. Like the second that guy started attacking, the debuff popped up. They gave her slow and deprotect, and just one attack killed her. Even with the 1-star black belt equipped, which is like 20% full damage negation. But, you know, what do you do? I think it'd be pretty impressive if someone ran through this with a no death run. I'm not sure. It'd have to be like your second or third playthrough. You'd have to really know what's going on, really know weaknesses, avoid bomb fights when you could avoid them. But fighting these guys was super easy the next time. You just target the debuff guy first in the back. He doesn't really attack you ever. He just does the heretical dance. But yeah, 600 gil. That was it. This whole zone, all these paths, led to nothing. My disappointment is very intense at these guys.
Nothing I can't handle.
Even with the little bomb. Yeah, see, the bomb starts with half health. Kinda interesting. But the rest of the guys can't even put up a fight. Especially once something gets staggered. As long as it's not a aerial enemy, then you'll do the launch attack and completely take it off. You'll even break anyone out of their guard state if they're using the guard move. But the jetpack troopers, for one, can't be knocked into the air. even though they're like barely hovering over it. The little floating wasps. I'll bet the little floating sword coming up in this next fight also can't be knocked up by launch.
What's this sanctum up to? Are they planning to
These things are pretty cool. I'm just now remembering. I didn't remember when I played it when I recorded this, but these guys I think are some of the, there's like challenge missions in the rest of the game. I'm pretty sure there's a few of these guys that are in these challenge missions. So this won't be the last time they make their appearance. He does this forge blade move, and it happened too quick. I couldn't read it the first time, so I just thought it was like a shield attack. But what he's actually doing is he's making a blade that pops out. You see it on the right there. It starts smacking you in the face for massive damage. I didn't notice it, like, to be honest. I just started seeing like Vanille and Hope's health like dropping drastically, and then I noticed this floating thing over there. But when you're in the stagger state, there's not a lot you can do. You have to keep attacking when they're staggered. Like the gains to losses are so great if you try to drop out and heal yourself. But a lot of enemies also will have like a special move that they'll do once they're at a stagger. Either because the stagger triggered it, or because you have got their health down so far, it triggers like the next move. But this guy was kind enough to let me sneak up on him, even though he got stuck on the terrain right there. I think it let me get that preemptive and dealt with him super quick. I don't even think he got the chance to get the forge blade out. He just died in the first stagger. Yeah, good timing on that. Max points. I feel like chests like these, I feel like should be a little bit better. Oh, you know what? That was a really good one, the Regis. That's the endgame weapon for Saz. It has the one of the highest offensive scaling. It says it's a riot suppression weapon for pacifying people, so it has artificial limitations on it. But the limitation is that it can't hit the stagger bar into the stagger state. It can only build stagger, so you have to have one of your other characters hit him with the last hit. But in exchange, it has one of the highest attack stats on it, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It said it was for riot, like putting down civilian riots, so I would think it's more of a stunning weapon, like it wouldn't have the highest damage. I don't know. Maybe just the guy writing all the item descriptions couldn't think of a lot for that one. He's like, oh, well, we're in the city, so I guess we'll put in that it's something the police used for riots. But then again, we're not even in the city. We're in a pulse arc that's supposedly underneath. It's gotta be like fused into the city. Like the arc was probably a real thing, and then kind of like how the aliens and xenomorphs kind of like merge all their stuff with goo. That's my thoughts on how this thing got merged into the sewers with sewer goo. We got one of our best friendos here. Greater Behemoth.
That's how it's done.
That's like the perfect timing right there. Absolutely perfect. The second it stands up before it can get its heel off, you kill it. Otherwise, I think every behemoth from this point on in the game, its stagger point's too high to hit, almost impossible, unless you use one of those shrouds that gives you an instant preemptive, the Deceptazol shroud. And yeah, this room right here, this is the same exact asset. They just reused that whole background sewer thing. A little confused about that, but you know, I think I saw we're on disc 3 somewhere in here. I don't even remember the last game I played that had 3 discs. That's crazy. Sometimes they would package them and we'd have like a disc on each side of your package, and there'd be like a little flippy thing in the middle where you have the 3rd disc. Yeah, you see him do his massive heal here. His stagger bar goes down by a lot, so it makes it more doable, but it's still way hard to hit. Instead, what I relied on was Lightning using her, I think in that last upgrade marathon, she got a move called Blindside, and that's as long as the enemy is attacking someone else, you get a massive boost of damage. It might have something to do with attacking him from the rear, but to my recollection, it's just as long as they're not targeting you, you get bonus damage. And the damage is like not insignificant. Like Lightning is here in the back, you can see. Yeah, she gets Blindside, she's doing thousands more damage. Even though I didn't get a lot of points for it, it was still way impressive. Proud of her. Handling all these friendos. Little doggo boys in the sewers. Sewers, metro. Also, why would all these, like, this looks like a metro station, like in a subway, right? Like, where are the subway cars? I guess that thing could kind of be considered a, maybe instead of like railways, these are more like roads, but still. The fact we didn't get to take any little rails. Even when we were back on the Palamecia, I thought it would be cool if we got to ride one of the little ships. Hope was like, we can use that to get up there. I was like, alright. And then we just bounced off it like a trampoline. Alright. Here's one of our main bad boys. In a big,
easy, guys.
possible YouTube copyright cutscene.
He's been helping us out.
Threw a couple extra filters on here. Praying to the foul sea that this doesn't get striked. Lightning rushing in. One hand down, one hand disarmed her.
I put you on the path.
Caught her weapon backwards.
That was my focus.
So cool.
You're a sea?
Since long before we met.
And then big reveal, he's a Lassie.
To assist you, as bid by the Sanctum Foul Sea.
He's been a Lassie for a while, I guess.
The Foul Sea have watched over you, guided.
I remember
your
trying to
every
think
step.
here, like,
The luck that
whether
saved you
the
time and
Cocoon
again
Foul
was a
Sea
deliberate
have like
machination.
more power
Why,
than
you
the
may
Pulse
ask?
or something.
The Primarch,
Like that's
or
why they're
should I
kind of
say,
hovering over the
Hortendus,
Pulse ones.
is crafting you into the
Maybe the
instruments
power
of
gap is the
Cocoon's
reason why they
demise.
hate each other.
We've been
But
played for
if they can
fools.
create a Lassie that can last
Cocoon
for
Foul Sea.
longer,
Why?
like a lot of these
Why?
guys said that
To restore the
once you
Maker.
become a Lassie, you're on
Maker?
like a timer. Like you either
The
complete your
entity
focus
responsible for creating both
in
humans
a few days.
and Foul Sea.
Like I thought the premise was that you had 13
Long
days
ago,
to complete your
The
focus.
Maker departed this world, leaving the two races behind.
Alright, so here we have our deity background.
Human and fal'Cie are brothers, orphaned by the same parent.
The maker created everyone, but then he ascended into the higher plane.
As for the humans,
which probably means he
they
died.
forgot the order
Nobody
imposed
could
by the
comprehend
Maker.
it.
They began to war amongst themselves for the first time in history.
See, this would be a good point
fal'Cie
to
focused
play
on
like
recalling
a
their lost deity
cutscene
returning
from
the
like
world
thousands of years
to its
ago.
former glory.
Because he's saying like, oh, humans have been
This
going
purpose
crazy, but
lies at the heart of
all of
their
these
actions.
cutscenes are just like the fal'Cie are toying with each other and
Back
making
the
humans
Maker
do things that
requires a fitting
has nothing to do with
sacrifice.
humans forgetting their origins.
Yeah, we've heard.
The humans are being
Destruction of Cocoon.
turned
The
into
lives
cattle,
of this
basically.
world's entire populace in
Feels
bloody
like
tribute.
Cid is off base here. Whoa!
That's crazy talk.
I don't get it.
That's crazy that
What
he
do they
would
need
just
us?
throw the saber
The fal'Cie
at her
and
face
just
like
a
that.
Their existence is bound to the creation and maintenance of this floating
But
shell. It
yeah,
is
it
their
seems
very
like the
nature
fal'Cie
that
are
holds them in check.
You mean
much more
Cocoon
robotic
fal'Cie can't destroy
than
Cocoon?
human.
They needed tools.
Like they just have
If we can stop this,
they have a
by
lot of
doing
limitations. Like they can't leave. They can't attack each
nothing, do
other.
nothing.
They can't
No.
stop making the food
I
production
expected as
or
much.
rolling the sun through the sky.
What happened to your dream of rebuilding?
It kind of
Cocoon
seems
for the
like
people? Was it all a lie?
there's another
A shadow of a dream.
like Shintoism
When I was
kind of deity beliefs,
It was change I craved.
or
Once
you
I
know,
built
maybe like
the
Greek
influence to make
gods
things
too.
happen, there was change.
You got like the Helios
gained all
dragging the
power
sun
I could
across
hope
the
for,
sky, and
but was a puppet with
Atlas
no will
holding
to
the
wield
world
it.
up. And they just
wasn't
like do
the
these
fal'Cie
jobs
who
forever,
changed.
even though none of them really wants
It
to.
was me.
But
You were made a l'Cie?
A l'Cie.
for some reason, Cid
Tied to
is
an inescapable focus. A
had been
slave of
around too
destiny.
long, and I think his mind is starting to
I'd
crack.
lost hope. I'd all but given up on dreams of freedom.
Like he doesn't
you
want
say?
to keep
I'm here of
fighting
my own accord,
the
not
l'Cie,
by
but
fal'Cie
then he
order.
got turned into the l'Cie,
Seeing you fight,
and then he was like, oh, I gotta do my
brought it all
focus.
back.
But what is my
That
focus?
future I once strove for.
To be fair, he had the dude who made him was the Pope,
Challenge
Pope
my fate.
Dilus, Barthandelus, and so he just had a dude there telling him like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Easy, guys.
I thought for a second he was gonna have a summon
If I can defeat
an
you
Eidolon to
here,
fight
the
with,
fal'Cie plan will fail.
but unfortunately that doesn't
All
happen.
my remaining power.
I didn't even use a summon in this fight.
I will
The only
set
time I
you
use
free.
summons is when there's like large, annoying groups of enemies. This has got to be one of the most classic Final Fantasy vibe designs. This dude looks like he could come out of literally any Final Fantasy game and fit right in this like merged state. I don't know. It feels kind of like they relegating Cid to a less important character than he usually is, but what are you gonna do? He's got this super sick punch combo that launches you into the air. Feels great when he hits it on your character. He's got a couple different modes. He's got the offensive mode. He's got restorative mode. He's got like a 5-segment ATB bar too. And you can cast 5 cures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I think in the very end, you get 5 bars from your upgrades, and then you get a 6th bar if you manage to get the final version of your weapon all the way maxed out. It comes with your 6th bar segment. Basically, it's probably going to cover the whole screen. So when he does this guard stance, Like, all my guys were in green health, so I just built his stagger bar up. Like, why did he do anything else? His little ray attack was, I don't know, it was a little concerning, but, you know, it wasn't anything that one healer couldn't take. And then while I have him heal, Vanille is doing her debuffs, and her new weapon, the Marlboro Staff, the upgraded form of the Belladonna Wand, and it has a higher rate of inflicting debuffs. Look at that. Hope just hit 5k and 8k. Just ended this guy. What a great guy. Hope is becoming so much more helpful. So we finally beat Cid. He's got Goku hair, metal wings.
Ironic, isn't it?
Kinda interesting. It's like a liquid metal. Looks pretty like divine, right? He's like kind of these like little jewelry beads and stuff hanging all over him. That's not jewelry. It's like part of his body. And he's also like crying. This is also kind of a shocker here.
What? Did
He
complete his
turned-
focus?
He turned into
I
crystal
don't
too.
think so. All Raines did was try to save
What,
Cocoon in his own way.
So his focus was to lose.
Hey!
Where are you? Snow!
I guess is like to fight us and lose, and then in so doing we get a bunch of experience points,
I think
and that's all his
Raines was
focus entailed.
searching for a way to make us understand.
Getting
Getting
more
the
experience.
frustration of being a lassie.
but
A lassie bound to a focus. And
maybe because we're in the city. I don't know if this is Eden City or not, but I think Orphan is here in the city, so maybe he can just like teleport the crystal out. I don't know. I feel like the crystal should have stayed down here in the sewers forever. It would only be fair. Cid Raines had been planning to overthrow Fal'Cie rule, but was made into a lassie by Barthandelus before those plans could be put into action. Since then, he's been a part of the Fal'Cie scheme to guide Lightning and the others through the battles with Sanctum and along the path to Cocoon's destruction. However, Raines regains the will he once had as a human and attempts to foil Barthandelus' plan. Yeah, and it doesn't all work out as smoothly as he had thought. Despite his defeat, the Sea Commander transforms into crystal. Yeah, what a tragedy. What a tragedy.